Let's start with these 2 points because I feel like these are crucial for this discussion. Number 1, if you're thinking about getting the Nikon ZR solely to shoot in red RAW, then that's it. Everything else in this video will be irrelevant to you. If red is what you want, the ZR is it. Number 2, if you're looking to shoot an open gate right now, then the S1 Mark II, that's it. That's the one you pick. Nikon could potentially release a firmware to maybe unlock that feature, but honestly, I have no idea how any of that works. So let's take both of these cameras as they are in their current configurations. I assume that everyone is here for the video features, obviously, but I will add, both of these cameras are capable of taking some pretty good photos. So if you want your main video camera to have the ability to take some photos, then both of these will work to a certain extent. If you're looking for a more traditional photography experience, then the S1 Mark II definitely checks that box. It has an EVF, mechanical shutter, and your classic hybrid body design. Okay, photography over, let's move on. There are a ton of very technical ways to test cameras against each other, but I want to approach this from my own perspective. I am not a cinematographer, obviously, and I don't need to deliver the absolute highest quality media to big brand clients. This comparison is coming from someone that just enjoys making videos and discussing all the camera gear and all the stuff that we love to debate about. That's me, and most likely you as well. So I'm gonna break this down in a couple different ways. Ease of use, autofocus, lenses, stability, video codecs, frame rates. I'm trying to cover as many bases as I possibly can, but if I happen to miss anything, let me know in the comments below. First thing we'll talk about is ease of use. The Nikon ZR lacks a grip, making it less comfortable to hold compared to the S1 Mark II. The S1 Mark II has a more traditional camera body that feels great in the hand. All the controls and dials are in the places that you would expect them to be, and it's an overall great experience. However, this reminds me of my S9 review when I compared the A6700 body to the S9. Both the A6700 and the S9 bodies are similar to the ZR and the S1 II bodies. In my S9 review, I gave a draw. I am going to give it a draw, which some people weren't really happy with, but I'm gonna do the same here. I'm sure in the next few months, camera companies will make a better grip for the ZR, making it more comfortable to hold. It wouldn't be fair of me to give a check to the S1 Mark II if I didn't give a check to the A6700. So, if you prefer a traditional hybrid body, the S1 Mark II definitely checks that box. But if you don't mind rigging up your kit, like me, I don't mind, who cares? The ergo and the feel are gonna come down to your personal use case. Next up is the menu system. I'm only gonna take a moment on the menus because this is subjective, relative to your individual experience with whatever brand you use. In my first impressions video about the ZR, I mentioned the menu being a bit out of whack, but like every new menu system, we get the hang of it. And to be honest, the ZR menu, it isn't that bad. I have experience using Sony, Canon, Lumix, and Nikon. I think that Sony has the most practically built menu. Is this from years of use? Probably. This video isn't about Sony though. So my final take is, both the ZR and the S1 Mark II have a ton of options and settings that you can dive into, which is great. I also think that Nikon and Lumix could probably freshen up the menus to make our lives a little bit easier. Next up is that ZR screen. Speaking of ease of use, the ZR screen is fantastic. It's large, it's bright, it's great for outdoor use. I think every camera brand should adopt a 4-inch screen like this. If you're looking for the best screen on a camera right now, the ZR is definitely the winner. The S1 II screen is also pretty good, and I've never had any issues with it, especially with brightness outside or visibility. Compared to the ZR screen, come on. This one feels a little outdated. But imagine if Nikon did a 5-axis like flippy tilty screen on this thing. Oh my God, bananas. Next up, autofocus. I briefly talked about the autofocus in my ZR first impressions video. If you didn't see it, I'll leave a link right here and one at the end of this video. Right out of the gate, the ZR autofocus wasn't that good. I had to tap on the shutter button for it to recognize my face. And in a few situations with the wide L focus zone enabled, the ZR never found any object in the frame to lock onto. Once I jumped into the AF menu and saw a focus mode called AFF, it did clean it up a bit, but not completely. If you are coming from Sony, Lumix, or Canon, you are probably familiar with the autofocus continuous mode. I assume that the AFF mode is Nikon's version of AFC. Don't quote me on that. Next example. In this clip, you can clearly see the focus breathing and pulsing. And this is with breathing compensation turned on. Lastly, when I was using animal subject detection, it seemed to work quite well. I don't have any video to show you, sorry, so you're just gonna have to take my word on this one. I was at about 150 millimeters taking some shots of these ducks, and the tracking worked just fine. I can imagine that a few people are probably commenting that I was using an adapter and that the true performance of the ZR doesn't reflect here. If that's the case, then yes, I agree with you. On the contrary, for all those Sony shooters thinking about jumping ship, all of you still have your E-mount glass, and that's why I think this information is very helpful. Are there other autofocus settings inside the ZR that maybe I didn't see or didn't know about to make the autofocus better? Probably. I just want to share what I saw. As for the S1 Mark II, the video autofocus has been rock solid. I've been using it as my main A-roll camera on both my channels since its release. Coming from someone that's been shooting with Sony cameras for years, I can say that the S1 Mark II gives me that Sony confidence when it comes to the autofocus. It's not all beers and cupcakes though. The object tracking is pure trash. Lumix needs to address this. It flat out does not work. The other situation, which has to do with photography, and I realize that isn't what we're talking about, but I still think it's relevant. When I was shooting a soccer match using higher FPS and burst modes, the autofocus was missing. The clip you're watching doesn't relay exactly what I'm saying, because you plainly see all the subject boxes, right? But when I got home to review the photos, I found a bunch of misses and a few not so sharp images. Once again, maybe some operator error on my part. I just want to be fair and transparent. In the end, in the form that I have both of these cameras in, the S1 Mark II is the better performer when it comes to autofocus. All right, let's try to get a little stable. Just the standard IBIS setting on the S1 Mark II is the best that I've ever used. Not to mention, you have the cropless and the tripod mode as well. There's not really a contest here. The ZR has a standard stabilization and a sport mode, but even in SPT and trying to be smooth, it was a bit of a bummer. I will add that the ZR has an electronic stability mode as well, but I'm assuming because I was using an adapted Sony lens that I couldn't use that mode. It was grayed out in the menu system. Barring that mode being pure magic, I've got to give the stability check mark to the S1 Mark II. Overheating and battery performance. If you've seen one of my videos before, you know I live in South Florida, and it's like a freaking volcano outside for about 9 months a year. So I've never had any issues with the S1 Mark II overheating. Maybe I'm just one of the lucky ones. As for the ZR, I went to Miami and shot the city skyline in R3D at the highest quality available for about 35 minutes, because that's all the room I had left on my 512 gigabyte card. It wasn't Miami hot, but the temperature was around mid-80s, and it wasn't in direct sunlight. Keep that in mind. The ZR was pretty warm, but I'm happy to report that it didn't throw an overheat warning. When it comes to battery performance, I haven't done a one-to-one test. The S1 Mark II is known for being a bit of a battery hog when you're using more demanding settings. The ZR felt pretty similar shooting in R3D. Again, I don't have an exact scientific result to report, so I'm just gonna leave this one alone. Next up, lens selection. L-mount lenses have come a long way, and I really enjoy using my Lumix Kit. Sigma also makes a really compelling selection of L-mount glass, as do a bunch of other brands. I am going to give the slight edge to the ZR on this one though. Coming from someone who still owns a handful of Sony glass, the ability to adapt my G-Master lenses to the ZR, yeah, this is a big factor. Not taking away from the Nikkor lens lineup, I've seen what those lenses are about. For those of us thinking of switching brands though, just saying. Let's talk about video codecs, frame rates, and the video tools offered by these cameras. The ZR offers, obviously, R3D, Red RAW, right? I covered that. It also has NRAW, ProRes RAW, ProRes 422 HQ, H.265, and H.264. Sprinkled through all of those above options are 8-bit, 10-bit, 12-bit, 420, and 422. Video quality starts at 1080p and goes up to 6K, while the frame rates start at 23 point blah 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 and go up to 240p. Very impressive amount of options, right? However, the S1 Mark II has even more. If it comes down to best versus best for you, I am going to cover that here shortly. But when it comes to the available options, the S1 Mark II has got a Costco grocery list. Here's a quick anecdote. It's kind of funny to me. I watch review videos, like you, I would assume, and I come across comments in these videos of people losing their minds when a company omits one or two features from their latest camera. What I'm going to say might sound like a shill, fanboy, whatever everyone says nowadays, but here it goes. Lumix quite literally gave us the entire shed of tools in the S1 Mark II. They were like, here's everything that we got. Then I watched another video and see those same people complaining about missing features, then complaining about the S1 Mark II having too many options. Like, bro, like what, which one? Is it not enough or too much? Make up your minds, for God's sakes. Included in all those bloated options is all the anamorphic support as well. D-squeeze and stability. Oh, and Lumix through and false color too. That's like a function for cinema camera. Am I right on that? Right, that should be a function on cinema cameras. Yeah. Before I tell you the camera that I personally picked for myself, I want to share these clips from the ZR and the S1 Mark II, both shooting in RAW, highest quality. Yep, it's that time for your favorite classic camera YouTuber segment. Can you tell the difference? Woo! Like I said, I am not a colorist, and I've never claimed to be. I just like to find what I think is a good-looking LUT, drop it on my footage, make a couple tweaks, and that's it. Simple and to the point. That's what I did for both of these clips as well, without the tweaks this time. If you guessed R3D was camera A, then you were correct. I used Red's film bias for the ZR, and Gerald Undun's LUT for the vlog. His LUTs are pretty good, you should check them out. You're welcome, Gerald. Probably a bit unfair in this case specifically, but I used what I had. Seeing these clips side by side made it abundantly clear that they were different. What I noticed most was the more grainy filmic look from R3D, where ProRes RAW from the S1 Mark II was way cleaner and more polished looking. There was also a little bit more reds in the S1 Mark II and a little more yellows on the R3D. But that could be just my monitor. How's it look to you guys? Subjective is the theme of the day. For a moment, I was gonna take some extra time and try to match them the best I could, but instead I decided to show you exactly how they are. I think both images coming out of these cameras look very nice in their own way. And if you're even 10% more knowledgeable than I am, you could probably get both of these to look pretty darn close. Everything I said here is my opinion. It's my practical experience with both of these cameras, and We're just having some fun, making stupid internet videos. So don't let anything that I've said really steer you in any kind of direction. I just wanted to share with you my feelings about using these two cameras, and hopefully that helped in some way. And without further ado, my pick for the ZR versus the S1 Mark II goes to the Lumix S1 Mark II. Oh, the typing. I will make it through this. Why did you pick the S1 Mark II? Just the amount of shooting options, the functionality, the autofocus, stability. The S1 Mark II is just awesome. It's a great camera. This camera does everything that I personally needed to do. When it comes to the Nikon ZR and Red RAW especially, as creatives, we are so lucky to have such powerful, capable, compact, affordable tools at our disposal. Both of these cameras take amazing video and photos too, by the way. Remember, I mentioned that, yeah? For me, as a wannabe dad cam YouTube superstar, I am never, maybe not never, probably will never use a RAW format on the S1 or the ZR. And not to mention that editing all of this footage for this video was a nightmare. It sucked. And I have a freaking expensive MacBook Pro. It was pretty specced out, man. And this thing was not happy with the raw files at all. It got through it, but it wasn't great. So when I sit down to edit, I want to make it as easy as possible, trying to get the best images I can. As soon as I drop my clips into the timeline, it's going to be like 15 minutes just to have Final Cut render through it. And that's just, yeah, it doesn't fill you with that like, let's go make a video today. But if you're high end, man, if you're a cinematographer, if you're shooting, actual movies or production stuff, then you're used to those files. Other people, like me or you watching, who don't do that kind of work, that want this camera because it's just budget friendly and it shoots awesome images, the raw files might not be as cool down the road as you thought they were going to be. It's like funny cars. Funny cars are really fast. Like Top Fuel cars. You know what I'm talking about? Just follow me, come with me. They're fast. They go in a straight line and they're faster than almost anything on the planet Earth. But they don't turn, and you can't put your groceries in them. And you can't do everyday things, but they're really good at one thing. And when you're done with the one thing that they do, you put them away and then you get into the car that does all the rest of the stuff. I'll leave that there. Overall, it doesn't matter what brand you use, if your camera is new or old, it's all about having fun, being creative, going out, capturing moments, and sharing them. Just sharing them with people. Like me, share your videos with me. I wanna see them. I wanna see what you make, because that's the most important thing. No one's gonna worry about your aperture or your codec or whatever. If you have a cool video, you got a cool video. Simple as that. Let's have a chat in the comments below, and if you're still here, or maybe I'm just talking to myself. But if not, if you're still here, that means something. So let's hit that like button. Maybe subscribe too. I promise I'll try not to make shitty videos. I promise. I'm trying not to. I'll do my best. I'm sure a couple of them might suck. Anyways, hey, here are some other videos that I made right over here. So if you want to go check those out, that'd be really cool too. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. This was hella long. No, don't do it. Don't do it.